Think about the last photo you posted, or the last thing you typed in a comment section. Now ask yourself, honestly, would you have said that out loud, face to face, to a room full of people who know you? Most people wouldn't. And that's not just awkward honesty. According to social psychology, that gap, that distance between who you perform online and who you actually are, is not a quirk. It's not shyness. It's a documented psychological phenomenon called identity curation. And researchers at Stanford and the University of Groningen have found that it runs so deep, most people have genuinely forgotten which version of themselves is real. You think you know your personality. You've probably taken a test. Maybe you said you're an introvert, or an INFJ, or an empath. But what if I told you that the version of you that exists on your phone, the one that posts, likes, captions, and curates, has been slowly replacing your actual identity for years? And what's more frightening, the swap has been completely unconscious. Because in the next few minutes, there's a self-check coming. Something you can do right now, mid-video, that will show you exactly how wide that gap has become. Most people who've done it don't like what they find. Here's where this starts. In the 1950s, sociologist Irving Goffman proposed that all human social interaction is a kind of performance. He called it dramaturgy, the idea that we have a front stage self. We show the world, and a backstage self that only exists in private. For decades, this was considered a metaphor, a useful framework, not literal. Then social media arrived, and Goffman's metaphor became your life. What platforms did was give the front stage a permanent spotlight, an audience of hundreds, and infinite editing tools. You can delete the post that didn't land. You can reshoot the story until your voice sounds confident. You can write a caption 4 times until the tone feels exactly right. None of that is possible in real life. In real life, you're unfiltered. Online, you are the director of your own character. And here's what nobody tells you. The more you direct that character, the more your brain starts to believe the character is you. This is called self-concept drift, and it happens through a process called behavioral confirmation. When you repeatedly act like a certain type of person, calm, witty, unbothered, inspirational, your brain begins to expect you to be that person. It rewires. It starts to feel wrong when the real you, the anxious or uncertain or contradictory you, shows up, so you suppress it. Not deliberately. The reason this will shock you is simple. You didn't choose this. It was chosen for you by the design of the platform itself. Let's talk about a real case, not a celebrity, someone ordinary. A researcher named Dr. Catalina Toma at the University of Wisconsin studied people's Facebook profiles against their actual personality assessments. What she found was striking. People didn't just slightly adjust their profiles. They built alternate psychological architectures. Introverts presented as socially dominant. Neurotic individuals presented as emotionally steady. People with deep insecurity about their intelligence posted almost exclusively about intellectual topics. And when she asked participants directly, "Does your profile represent who you really are?" almost all of them said yes. That's the part that matters. It wasn't deception, it was delusion. A sincere, defended, completely unconscious belief that the curated version was the authentic one. The mask had become the face. Now here's the counterintuitive part that most psychology content gets completely wrong. This is not vanity, it is not narcissism, it's actually a coping mechanism. Your brain builds an online persona to protect your real self from judgment. It's a psychological shield. The problem is that shields, worn long enough, fuse to the skin. Now, here is your self-check. Pause if you need to, but try to do this right now. Think of 3 words you would use to describe yourself online. The version of you your followers know. Write them mentally or say them out loud. Now think of 3 words someone who lives with you, a partner, a sibling, a roommate would use to describe you. Not the polished version, the Tuesday morning, unbothered, no audience version of you. Are those lists the same? For most people, they aren't even close. Research from the University of California found that in 74% of cases, a person's closest offline contacts describe their personality in measurably different terms than the person's own self-description, which was heavily influenced by their online identity. 74%. That means if you're in a room of 4 people right now, 3 of you are living a psychological split you're not fully aware of. Wait, it gets darker. The split doesn't stay contained to your phone. This is the part that social psychology researchers are most concerned about, and the part that almost never makes it into the viral posts about digital wellness. When your online persona becomes dominant enough, it begins to colonize your offline behavior. You start performing in real life the way you perform online. You catch yourself speaking in captions. You frame experiences for an imaginary audience. You feel vaguely hollow after interactions that didn't feel postable. Psychologists call this audience internalization. You've absorbed your followers as a permanent internal witness, and now you can't fully turn it off. One study published in the Journal of Personality found that heavy social media users showed measurable reductions in what researchers call trait authenticity, the degree to which your daily actions align with your genuine values and instincts. The more you curate, the more you lose access to the unedited signal of who you actually are. Most people think the solution is a digital detox. Log off for a week, reset. But psychology proves the opposite. Logging off without self-examination changes nothing. You come back and rebuild the same persona within days. The real intervention has to happen at the identity level, not the screen time level. Here's what you now know that almost no one around you does. Your online personality is not a lie, but it is a selection, a carefully curated subset of who you are, repeated so many times that your brain has promoted it to your primary identity. The real you, the one who exists without an audience, has been slowly demoted, not deleted, just buried. The one actionable thing you can do today is this. For the next 24 hours, notice the moment you frame an experience for someone who isn't there. Notice when you're about to do something and your first thought is how it would look, not how it would feel. That noticing, that tiny gap of awareness, is where your real personality starts to come back online. Because here's the truth that this entire field of research points toward. You are not your profile. You are not your aesthetic. You are not the person your followers think they know. You are something more complicated, more contradictory, and far more interesting than any platform is designed to hold. And the fact that you watch this all the way through, that's not something you'd post about. That's something real.